I just wanted to quickly pop in just, well, to say hi. Welcome to day 9, and my brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, they're coming into town today, so I wanted to bake them some cookies. We actually agreed to not exchange gifts this year, but I still wanted to, you know, acts of service. I still wanted to do something nice for them and kind of like welcome them home with some snickerdoodles. If you guys have never had a snickerdoodle, it's pretty much like a cinnamony sugar cookie. So good, and I think it's like very perfect for this time of year. So if you guys want to see how I made them, this is the first time I made these. This is the first time I followed this recipe. So you'll see like all the little nuances and how I kind of went about like adjusting it a little bit, and also like what I did to experiment a little bit too. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get to baking. So first you want to preheat your oven to 375. And then you want to grab your cookie sheets and then line them with either parchment paper or with silicone mats like I did here. Let's start by preparing the outer sugar coating for the cookies first, using a 1/4 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon, and then you just want to mix that together. Once that's mixed together, you can just set that aside for now. And then you want to take room temperature butter. Don't use cold butter, otherwise this will be a pain to do. Just take 2 sticks of room temperature butter, and then you want to cream that. It's probably best to use a paddle attachment, but I don't have one, so I'm just using this hand mixer, and then I'm just creaming this for about a minute until it's really nice and smooth. And then you want to take a cup of sugar and go ahead and cream the sugar too, and do this for about another minute. The recipe actually called for 1 1/4 cup of sugar, but I decided to cut it down to just 1 cup. And then I'm going to add in 1 large egg as well as a teaspoon and a half of vanilla extract. I also decided to cut this down by half. It called for 2 teaspoons, but I just went for 1 1/2. And then I'm just going to mix that together. You don't have to go crazy with blending here, just make sure it's just well mixed in. Now moving on to the dry ingredients, we're going to take 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, feel free to add more if you'd like, and half of a teaspoon of salt. And then you're just going to go ahead and make sure this is well mixed together as well. And then you want to start adding the dry ingredients to the wet ones, and just do this in 3 portions. So I just added about 1/3 of the powder in first. I tried to just really moisten up the powder first before I really turn on that mixer so that flour doesn't go all over the place. But you're just going to repeat this 2 more times until all of the flour is mixed together. Eventually it's going to become more like that dough-like texture, and it's going to be hard to mix, so you're just going to want to scrape off the extra dough. Go ahead and get your fingers in there and really continue to mix that together. Right as I touched the dough, I was a little bit afraid because I thought it felt really sticky and moist, and I was afraid that my cookies might flatten out too much, but I just went with it and thought, okay, we'll work with this as my first batch, and then I'll refrigerate whatever's left over and see if that makes any difference. All you have to do is roll the dough into small balls, roll it into that sugar cinnamon mixture, and then set it onto your cooking sheet. It's nice that these don't flatten out too much, so you can kind of place these somewhat close together. And if you want, this is optional, you can sprinkle a little bit more of that sugar cinnamon on top of each ball. For this first batch, I decided to bake it for 10 minutes, even though the recipe called for 11 to 12. I just felt it and I thought, okay, maybe we can do 1 more minute, but I honestly thought this was a little bit too long, but I just went ahead and gave it a shot anyways because we still had that second batch we can play around with. So I actually refrigerated the leftover dough just to see if it would make any difference, and I noticed as I was handling the dough and rolling it in my hands again that it was a lot less sticky than the first batch, so in that sense, it was easier to work with. I just repeated the same exact steps and rolled the dough between my hands into little balls, rolled them into the sugar cinnamon mixture, and then set them on my cookie sheet. I also made these just a tad bit smaller because I thought they would look cuter, but I also wanted to see if that would make any difference as well, because I am definitely going to bake these for less time, and I'm going to bake them for 8 minutes this time instead of 10 or more. This time I didn't sprinkle any additional cinnamon sugar over top of each of the balls. After your cookies come out, you just want to let them cool a little bit on the cookie sheet before you transfer them to a wire rack to completely cool. I definitely suggest not keeping them on the cookie sheet too long because you don't want them to cook further and harden. So really I wanted these to be as soft as possible. You can see the two different sets, the larger cookies and the slightly smaller ones. Honestly, they both turned out great. We have our cookies. I put the smaller, cuter ones in this tin can so to not like overwhelm them with so many cookies, but both batches I thought turned out really good. Even the one that was baked for longer, that still has like a bit of chewiness to it and it still tastes amazing. And I bet you they're gonna taste even better tomorrow and the following day, if they last that long. But yeah, there's a lot more where this came from with my bigger ones. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you would like for me to do more like this, and comment down below if you're gonna try baking these or what you like to bake or cook around this time of year. I'd really like to know. So that is all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!